Chicago's skyline glittered like a promise, and Pinnacle Strategies tower on Wacker Drive was its sharpest jewel. On the 35th floor, Vanessa Hart, 29, ruled with an iron elegance. The youngest VP in the firm's history, she was a force. Hair and a flawless chignon-tailored suits that cost more than most employees' monthly rent, and a smile that could charm or cut. Her office, a sleek expanse of chrome and white leather, was a stage where she orchestrated million-dollar deals. To the analysts and assistants scurrying outside her glass walls, she was a goddess, distant and untouchable. Vanessa hadn't always been this way. Raised in a modest Evanston suburb, she'd clawed her way up from a state school scholarship to an MBA at Northwestern. Her ambition a fire stoked by years of being overlooked. Her mother, a nurse, had warned her, pride burns out Vanessa. But pride was her fuel. At Pinnacle, she'd turned heads, closing deals with brands like LooksVibe, a trendy athleisure giant. Her name was whispered in boardrooms, her photo framed in the lobby. She was the future. Ethan Walsh, 24, was her shadow. A junior analyst fresh from Illinois State. He was all earnest, hustle, and messy brown hair. His desk in the bullpen was a chaos of coffee mugs, post-it notes, and dog-eared notebooks. Ethan had grown up in Peoria, the son of a mechanic and a teacher, his dreams bigger than his bank account. Pinnacle was his shot, and Vanessa was his idol at least at first. Her brilliance was undeniable, but her warmth was a myth. He'd joined 6 months ago, hoping to learn, but found himself fetching her coffee and swallowing her critiques. That October morning, the 35th floor thrummed with tension. Pinnacle was pitching a $50 million campaign for LooksVibe, and Vanessa was the maestro. Ethan had spent weeks on a market analysis, spotting a gap in LooksVibe's Gen Z reach. His 20-page report, packed with charts and projections, was his best work yet. He'd stayed up until 3 a.m., fueled by Red Bull and ambition, tweaking every sentence. He slid it onto Vanessa's desk, hoping for a rare good job. She barely glanced at it. At 9 a.m., Vanessa swept into the bullpen, her heels clicking like a metronome. Team meeting, now, she snapped, her voice carrying over the hum of monitors. The analysts scrambled to the conference room, Ethan clutching his laptop, his tie slightly crooked. Inside, Vanessa stood at the head of a glass table, her presence. Electric LooksVibe's execs are coming at noon, she said. This is our Super Bowl. Mess it up, and you're benched permanently. She clicked through slides, her delivery flawless. When Ethan's Gen Z analysis appeared, his heart leaped. His date of his late nights was the centerpiece. But Vanessa didn't mention him. We've identified a Gen Z opportunity, she said, gesturing at the screen. This is our edge. Ethan waited for his name, a nod, anything. Silence. The team murmured approval, and Vanessa basked in it. Ethan's hands tightened on his pen. After the meeting, he lingered as the room cleared. Ms. Hart, he said, approaching her. I'm glad you liked the Gen Z analysis. If there's anything else I can do, Vanessa cut him off, her green eyes sharp. Walsh, right. Don't fish for compliments. Your job is to give me what I need, not beg for a pat on the head. She turned away, her phone already buzzing. Ethan's face burned, but he nodded and retreated. In the bullpen, Mia, an assistant, shot him a sympathetic look. She's stressed, Mia whispered. Ethan forced a smile, but the word useless echoed, unvoiced but felt. The LooksVibe pitch at noon was a mess. 3 execs Californians in designer sneakers sat, wrapped as Vanessa wove data, charm, and vision. Ethan's charts flashed on the screen, uncredited. The execs nodded, impressed, promising a decision soon. Vanessa glowed, her team a silent backdrop. Ethan watched from the back, his pride souring into resolve. He wasn't invisible, he'd make sure of it. That evening, Pinnacle's elite gathered at the Aviary, a cocktail bar where drinks cost $30 and egos cost more. Vanessa had invited her inner circle senior VPs, key clients, and a few favored analysts. Ethan wasn't on the list. He stayed late finalizing reports, the office quiet except for Vanessa's voice drifting from her office. She was on a call, her laugh sharp. Oh, the analysts. Glorified number crunchers, she said. Take that Walsh kid, earnest but useless. I could replace him with an intern and save the salary. Her laughter cut through the silence. Ethan froze, his fingers hovering over his keyboard. Useless. The word was a blade. He'd given everything, nights, weekends, his best ideas for her. He packed his bag, the city lights blurring as he walked to the L train. In his Rogers Park apartment, a 400-square-foot box with peeling paint, he couldn't sleep. Vanessa's voice looped in his mind. He opened his laptop and started an email to Richard Gaines, Pinnacle's CEO. It wasn't anger driving him, it was clarity. He typed, "I need to report a pattern of misconduct." He didn't send it. Not yet. Vanessa, in her Gold Coast penthouse, sipped a martini, the skyline her mirror. The pitch had been perfect, her star rising. She texted Claire, AVP at a rival firm, looks vibes mine. CEO's next. Claire replied with a crown emoji. Vanessa smiled, imagining Richard Gaines's office, her name on the door. She'd worked too hard to let anyone, especially a nobody like Ethan, slow her down. But ambition blinds. Ethan's email, unsent but growing, was a crack in her foundation. Vanessa slept soundly, unaware that her kingdom was already tilting. The following week, Pinnacle Strategies pulsed with its usual intensity. Vanessa Hart's office was a hive of activity, meetings, calls, her presence a gravitational force. The looks by pitch had cemented her as the firm's star, and whispers of her CEO candidacy swirled like smoke. She thrived on it. Her days, a whirlwind of power lunches at Gibson's Steakhouse and late-night emails. Her ambition, once a spark in Evanston, was now ablaze, consuming everything else. Ethan Walsh, meanwhile, was a ghost in the bullpen. Vanessa's useless jab at the aviary had lodged in his chest, a splinter he couldn't ignore. He kept his head down, his smile tighter, but his mind was sharp. The email to Richard Gaines grew nightly, a quiet rebellion. He detailed Vanessa's credit stealing, her dismissive tone, the toxic air on the 35th floor. He cited specifics: his uncredited Gen Z report, a colleague's campaign idea buried, a junior marketer's public humiliation. Ethan wasn't vengeful, he was precise. He needed evidence, not just grievances. On Tuesday, Vanessa's assistant, Mia, a 26-year-old with a knack for staying invisible, caught Ethan's eye in the break room. "You okay?" she asked, pouring coffee. He nodded, but his jaw was tight. "She's not always like that," Mia said, glancing at Vanessa's office. "She's under pressure." Ethan didn't buy it. Pressure didn't justify erasure. Wednesday brought an announcement. "Looks 5 signing next week," Vanessa said in a team meeting, leaning against the conference table, her silk blouse catching the light. "We're celebrating Friday at the signature room." Cheers erupted. Ethan clapped, his eyes on Vanessa. She didn't look at him. After the meeting, she pulled Mia aside. "Get me the full looks vibe file," she said. "I need to prep." Mia nodded, hurrying to the archives. Ethan overheard, sensing a chance. His report, with his name on the cover, was in that file. If Vanessa claimed it at the signing, he'd have proof. He lingered near the copy room as Mia scanned documents. "Need help?" he asked. Casual. Mia, stressed, nodded. As they sorted papers, Ethan palmed a copy of his report. It wasn't theft, his name was on it. Back at his desk, he scanned it to a personal drive, time-stamped and secure. Step 1. Vanessa, oblivious, was soaring. At lunch with Claire at Gibson's, she sliced into a $60 ribeye, bragging about looks vibe. "Gaines is eating out of my hand," she said. "CEO's mine." Claire raised a glass. To Vanessa Hart, corporate goddess. Vanessa's phone buzzed, a text from Gaines. "Board meeting tomorrow." Big news. Her heart raced. This was her moment. The board meeting, in Pinnacle's penthouse conference room, was a cathedral of power, mahogany walls, Lake Michigan views. Vanessa arrived in a navy dress, her poise perfect. Gaines, silver-haired and commanding, greeted her warmly. "You're killing it," he said. The board discussed Q3 profits, new clients, and succession. Gaines hinted at fresh leadership. Eyes lingering on Vanessa, she left euphoric, mentally measuring the CEO's office drapes. Back on the 35th floor, she was generous, tossing Ethan a rare good work on the data. He nodded, masking surprise. Her kindness felt calculated. A queen's whim. That night, he added the board meeting to his email draft, noting Gaines's praise. If Vanessa was climbing, her fall would hit harder. Friday's celebration at the signature room was a spectacle: champagne flutes, city lights, Vanessa at the center. She toasted my team, her vagueness deliberate. Ethan invited watched her charm clients and VPs. She was magnetic, but cracks showed. A senior VP's tight smile, a client's subtle eye roll. Not everyone was charmed at the bar. Ethan overheard Vanessa talking to Claire and a looks vibe exec. My analysts are drones, she said, her martini glass glinting. That Walsh guy. Charisma of a wet mop. I carry this team. The exec chuckled. Claire smirked. Ethan, a few feet away, recorded the tail end on his phone's voice app. Step 2. Over the weekend, Vanessa shopped on Michigan Avenue, dropping $3,000 on a Burberry coat. Ethan, in his Rogers Park apartment, researched Pinnacles.org chart, mapping Vanessa's allies and rivals. He found an ex post from a former employee, alleging Vanessa sabotaged a promotion. It was deleted fast, but he screenshot it. Step 3. Monday, Looks Vibe signed the $50 million deal. Vanessa was a hero. Gaines praised her in a company-wide email. Ethan, meanwhile, faced HR. A routine check, they said, but they asked about Vanessa's leadership. He played dumb but hinted at credit issues. The HR rep's pen paused, her eyes sharp. That night, Ethan polished his email. 700 words, with attachments: the report, the audio, the ex post. He didn't send it. Vanessa's star was at its peak, and he needed her there for the fall. By mid-October, Vanessa Hart was Pinnacle's untouchable star. The Looks Vibe deal had sealed her legend, pushing the firm's stock up 3%. Her name echoed in boardrooms, her business journal cover framed behind her desk. She was 29, and the CEO's chair was within reach. Richard Gaines invited her to private dinners, discussing strategy over $200 steaks. Vanessa's penthouse, with its $10,000 chandelier and skyline views, was her castle. She was invincible, or so she thought. Her past fueled her. In Evanston, she'd been the smart kid no one noticed, her mother's warnings about humility ignored. At Northwestern, she'd outworked everyone, graduating top of her MBA class. Pinnacle was her proving ground, and she'd built an empire on charm and ruthlessness. Failure wasn't in her vocabulary. Ethan Walsh, meanwhile, was a speck in her orbit. His wet mop comment from the signature room had hardened him. His email to Gaines was now a dossier, with audio clips, reports, and that X screenshot. He needed one more piece, something undeniable. His chance came with Green Pulse, a sustainable energy startup. Vanessa assigned him the data lead, a rare spotlight. Don't screw this up, Walsh, she said, her tone sharp. Ethan nodded, seeing an opportunity. If she stole his work again, he'd have her. He dove into Green Pulse, pulling all-nighters in his Rogers Park apartment, the radiator hissing. He analyzed markets, competitors, and consumer trends, crafting a 30-page report recommending a focus on rural millennials with solar incentives. It was bold, detailed, his name on every page. He emailed it to Vanessa, copying Mia, ensuring a paper trail. He also printed a hard copy, time-stamped, and locked it in his desk. Vanessa barely read it. She was juggling Gaines's succession talks, client dinners, and her business journal profile. The article Pinnacle's prodigy was her mirror, reflecting her glory. She hung it proudly, ignoring the team's murmurs. Ethan saw it, and smirked. Pride before the fall. The Green Pulse pitch was Friday. Vanessa leaned on Ethan's report, cutting and pasting chunks into her slides. His phrase rural millennial momentum, front and center. She didn't credit him, assuming no one cared. Ethan did. He recorded her presentation on his phone, capturing every stolen word. He also saved a PDF of his report to a secure drive, with metadata intact. The pitch was a triumph. Green Pulse CEO, Kyle, a tech bro in a Patagonia vest, loved Vanessa's energy. You get us, he said, shaking her hand. The room applauded. Ethan, in the back, clapped slowly, his evidence mounting. Vanessa's slides were his work, verbatim. He added the recording and a side-by-side comparison to his dossier. Afterward, Gaines pulled Vanessa aside. "You're making it hard to choose anyone else," he said, winking. She beamed, already redesigning the CEO's office in her mind. Ethan watched, his face neutral. Back at his desk, he got a text from his college friend, Sam, now at Arrival. "Firm heard Vanessa's a shark," Sam wrote. "Be careful." Ethan replied, "I'm ready." That night, Pinnacle's elite hit Alenia for a celebratory dinner. Vanessa, in a crimson dress, was the star, toasting our success. Ethan wasn't invited, but Mia, tipsy, texted him a photo of Vanessa holding court. "Wish you were here," she wrote. Ethan didn't respond. He was at home cross-referencing Pinnacle's ethics code. Misrepresenting work was a offense. The next week, Gaines announced a leadership retreat in Lake Geneva, inviting top contenders. Vanessa was on the list. She spent $5,000 on a new wardrobe, prepping to dazzle. Ethan faced HR again, their questions sharper. Does Vanessa credit her team? He hinted at Green Pulse, suggesting they check the original reports. The HR rep's eyes narrowed. Office gossip churned. A senior VP, Mark, jealous of Vanessa's rise, whispered to Gaines about credit issues. Gaines dismissed it but told HR to dig. Vanessa, oblivious, was planning her retreat speech, a vision for Pinnacle's global dominance. She didn't notice Mia's nervous glances or Ethan's quiet resolve. On Thursday, Ethan sent his email to Gaines, 800 words, with attachments: the Looks Vibe report, Green Pulse comparison, audio clips, X screenshot. He BCC'd HR and saved a copy. Vanessa, packing for Lake Geneva, got a call from Gaines. "We need to talk when you're back," he said, his tone flat. She laughed it off. "Can't wait, Richard." She hung up, tossing her phone onto her silk duvet. Her throne was secure for now. The Lake Geneva retreat was Vanessa Hart's coronation. The resort, nestled in Wisconsin's rolling hills, was a haven of luxury chandeliers, velvet drapes, and crisp October air. Vanessa arrived in a chauffeured SUV, her new wardrobe a statement: tailored blazers, silk scarves, a watch that cost more than Ethan's car. She mingled with board members, outshone rival VPs, and delivered a keynote that left Richard Gaines nodding. "Pinnacle's future is bold, global, me," she said, her voice ringing. The room erupted. She was the heir apparent back in Chicago. Ethan Walsh worked in the bullpen's quiet hum. His email to Gaines sent. He felt a strange peace. He'd spent months erased, mocked, his work stolen. Now, the truth was out. He focused on Green Pulse follow-ups, mentoring a new analyst, Priya, who reminded him of his early days. His desk was neater now, a sign of control. He didn't gloat, he waited. Vanessa returned Monday, her ego a balloon. Her office was a shrine, business journal cover, Looks Vibe contract, her chandeliers glow, but the 35th floor felt off. Mia avoided her eyes. The analysts whispered. At 10 a.m., Gaines's assistant called. "Richard wants you now." Vanessa strode to the C-suite, expecting praise. Gaines's office was a fortress, dark wood, city views. He sat behind his desk, face stone. Linda Voss, HR's director, held a folder. "Sit," Gaines said. Vanessa sat, her smile tight. Gaines turned his laptop toward her. Ethan's email was open, attachments glaring, Looks Vibe report, Green Pulse slides, audio clips. Vanessa's voice echoed, useless, wet mop. Her stomach plummeted. "Explain," Voss said, pen poised. Vanessa's mind spun. "Deny. Deflect a misunderstanding," she said, voice smooth. "Walsh is disgruntled. I've always valued his team." Gaines raised an eyebrow. "Valued? You took his work, Vanessa. His name's on these reports. You presented them as yours." She bristled. "I synthesized the data. That's leadership." Voss slid the folder across ethics code. "Misrepresentation is termination worthy." Mia confirmed the timestamps. So did IT. Vanessa's poise cracked. "Mia, my assistant. She's honest," Gaines said. "You're not." The meeting was brutal. Gaines outlined the board's fury. Her CEO candidacy was dead. She was suspended pending investigation. Go home, he said. We'll call. Vanessa left, her heels silent. The bullpen watched as she packed phone, laptop framed article. Ethan met her eyes briefly. She glared, but he didn't flinch. She was gone by noon, her Burberry coat over her arm. At her penthouse, Vanessa unraveled. She called Claire, ranting about betrayal. Claire was sympathetic but distant, her own firm sniffing Pinnacle's clients. Vanessa opened wine, scrolling X. A post hit her Pinnacle's golden girl out. Stole credit, sources say. It had 500 likes. She threw her phone, the screen cracking. Ethan faced HR that afternoon. Voss thanked his courage but warned him. Whistleblowers don't always thrive. Keep your head down, she said. He nodded, but at his desk, Kyle from Green Pulse emailed. Heard you're the brains, let's talk. Ethan's work was seen, the investigation was swift. Pinnacle interviewed the team, clients, ex-employees. The X post sparked media buzz, and Vanessa's rivals Mark Claire fanned the flames. By Friday, Gaines decided. Termination. Voss called Vanessa. You're done, she said. Vanessa didn't cry, she planned. She'd sue, rebuild, destroy. Them Pinnacle's legal team was a wall. Her contract's morality clause and Ethan's evidence were ironclad. Her lawyer urged settling. She refused, burning $60,000 on retainers. Her penthouse felt like a tomb, her chandelier a mockery. She sold her watch for $5,000, barely covering rent. Ethan got a promotion, senior analyst, with a $10,000 raise. He didn't celebrate, but saved Vanessa's email. You'll pay for this. He knew she wasn't done. Asterisk by week's end, Vanessa's name was scrubbed from Pinnacle's site. She called old contacts Spark Vibe, Nexus, but doors slammed. Chicago's elite had a long memory. She stared at her Burberry coat, wondering if Nordstrom took returns. Her throne was gone, and the fall was just beginning. Vanessa Hart's penthouse was a cage. By December, her termination from Pinnacle was a scar, her savings a ghost. She'd burned $70,000 on lawyers, rejecting a weak settlement. Chicago's elite had shunned her, their silence louder than X's gossip. Her phone, once buzzing with power, was quiet. She applied to rival firms Eastbar VV, Nexus, Apex, but got form rejections. A headhunter was blunt. Your name's poison. Vanessa's past haunted her. In Evanston, she'd vowed to be more than her mother's daughter, more than a nurse's kid. She'd built a persona polished, ruthless, but it was crumbling. She took a freelance gig, ghostwriting for a startup at $15 an hour. She worked at her dining table, her penthouse lease a noose. She sold her Burberry coat for $200, her necklace for $1,000. The chandelier stayed, a glittering taunt. Ethan Walsh, 24, was rising. His senior analyst role at Pinnacle gave him real work, leading Greenpulse's rollout, mentoring Priya. Kyle, Greenpulse's CEO, emailed him directly, bypassing Vanessa's old channels. You're our guy, Kyle wrote. Ethan's desk was organized, his confidence quiet. He didn't gloat about Vanessa, he focused forward, his Peoria roots keeping him grounded. Vanessa spiraled. She scoured X, finding posts like Pinnacle. XVP crashed over stolen work. She posted a defense, truth will prevail, but it flopped. 20 likes, mostly bots. She blamed Ethan, replaying his email, his audacity. She drafted a venomous reply but didn't send it. Weakness wasn't her. Desperate, she took a night job cleaning offices for a janitorial service. $12 an hour. She scrubbed floors in a loop. Strip mall, her hands raw, her pride ashes. 2 months ago, she'd been toasted at Alinea. Now, she emptied trash cans. She avoided mirrors, hating her reflection, hollow eyes. No fire. Ethan's life diverged. Greenpulse's success earned him a $5,000 bonus. He moved to Lakeview, a step up from Rogers Park's roaches. Mia teased him. You're Vanessa now. He laughed, shaking his head. I don't need a crown. He took Priya to lunch at Portillo's, sharing tips from his early days. His college friend, Sam, called, offering a job at his firm. Ethan declined. He was loyal to Pinnacle. Vanessa's landlord called in January. 3 months behind, she faced eviction. She negotiated a month's grace, selling her last designer bag. For $100, she applied for a mid-level role at Crest Point, a mid-tier firm. The interviewer, a former Pinnacle peer, smirked through her pitch. She didn't get it. She took a second cleaning job, mopping a gym at 3 a.m., her hands blistered, but she kept going. Pinnacle was healing. Gina, the new VP, credited her team. A stark contrast to Vanessa. Ethan led a new client, Hop Vibe, a local brewery, securing a $5 million deal. His name was on the press release. Mia texted him a blurry X post. A photo of Vanessa cleaning, captioned, "Guess who's scrubbing her mess?" It had 2,000 likes. Ethan winced but didn't share it. Vanessa's nights blurred cleaning, sleeping, surviving. She moved to a Pilsen studio, a damp 300-square-foot box. She deleted X, her profile a ghost. She stopped calling Claire, Hood, dodged her last 3 texts. At the gym, a client recognized her from Pinnacle, whispering to a friend. Vanessa kept mopping, her face a mask. Ethan got another email from Vanessa. "Karma watches you too." He archived it, unbothered. Pinnacle promoted him to associate director, with a corner office. He celebrated at a dive bar with Sam and Priya, toasting to real work. His parents visited, proud, and he took them to the Art Institute, a rare day off. Vanessa hit bottom. Her studio's rent was late, her freelance gig dried up. She applied for a barista job at Brewvib, lying about her experience. The manager, a 23-year-old named Jake, hired her. She stood behind the counter, apron stained, pride gone. The queen was a shadow, but a spark flickered. She wasn't done yet. February's Chicago was brutal. The wind slicing through Vanessa Hart's thrift store coat as she trudged to Brewvib. At 30, she was unrecognizable. No chignon, no suits, just a green apron and a ponytail. Her Pilsen studio was a single room, damp walls, a mattress on the floor. The chandelier, sold for $2,000, was a bitter memory. She'd scrubbed toilets, written for pennies, and now poured coffee for $9 an hour. Each latte was a surrender. But she was learning to breathe through it. Vanessa's shifts were grueling. 6 a.m. starts, steaming milk, wiping spills, dodging Jake's lectures about hustle. Her coworkers, mostly 20-somethings, didn't know her past. To them, she was Ness, quiet but reliable. She kept her head down, but every tip jar clink reminded her of Pinnacle's glass walls, her lost throne. At night, she wrote in a notebook, not plans, but truths. "I was blind. I saw only me." Ethan Walsh, 25, was Pinnacle's rising star. His associate director role came with a corner office and a team of 30. Green Pulse was a hit, and Hop Vibe was trending. Gaines mentored him, hinting at C-suite potential. Ethan stayed grounded, his Peoria roots a tether. He mentored Priya, took Mia to lunch, and bought a Toyota with his bonus. He didn't think of Vanessa. She was a closed chapter. One morning, Ethan stopped at Brewvib, a block from Pinnacle. Vanessa was behind the counter, her face half hidden by a cap. He didn't recognize her. She saw him, new suit, easy smile. Her hands shook as she poured his latte. "Name?" she asked, voice low. "Ethan," he said, checking his phone. She froze, marker hovering. He didn't know her. She wrote E and slid the cup over, turning away. Ethan left, oblivious. In the back, Vanessa splashed water on her face, his success a mirror to her fall. She didn't hate him, she envied his clarity. That night, she stared at a cracked mirror in her studio. Her reflection was a stranger, no fire, just fatigue. She thought of Ethan's email, her useless taunt, her downfall. For the first time, she saw her role in it. She'd built a throne on others' backs. Her notebook filled. Power isn't control, it's trust. Ethan's life was full. He led Hop Vibe's next phase, earning a $20,000 bonus. Kyle offered a side consulting gig, doubling his income. He took his parents to Lou Malnati's, laughing over deep dish pizza. At Pinnacle, Gina praised his candor, calling him the future. He blushed, remembering his state college days, his cramped apartment. He didn't need a penthouse, he needed purpose. Vanessa's world shifted. Claire walked into Bruvy. One day, her eyes widening. "Vanessa," she said, pity sharp. Vanessa straightened, forcing a smile. "Side gig," she lied. Claire ordered a cappuccino, scanning Vanessa's apron. "Call me," she said, but her tone was hollow. Vanessa nodded, knowing she wouldn't. The encounter stung, but it woke her. She was done hiding. She started small. She apologized to Jake for snapping, earning a nod. She helped Tara with a shift swap, gaining a friend. She applied for an admin role at HopeWorks, a nonprofit, tweaking her resume to highlight teamwork. No response yet, but she kept trying. Her notebook grew. "I thought I was above them. I wasn't." Ethan was invited to Pinnacle's gala, a black tie affair at the Drake Hotel. He wore a rented tux, feeling out of place among Chicago's elite. Gaines toasted him publicly. Pinnacle's future. Ethan smiled, thinking of his parents, his journey. He didn't check X, didn't see the posts about Vanessa's fall. She wasn't his story. Vanessa's mirror showed a flicker of her old fire. She wasn't ready to rise, but she was ready to try. She walked home one night, passing Pinnacle's tower, its lights a distant memory. She didn't ache, she looked forward. Bruvy was temporary. HopeWorks was a maybe. She was Ness now, not Vanessa Hart. And that was enough for a start. Spring softened Chicago's edges, March's chill, giving way to tentative warmth. Vanessa Hart, now Ness to her Bruvy co-workers, was finding her footing. At 30, she'd shed. Her Pinnacle armor, her Pilsen studio, though bare, was hers. Paid by extra shifts and a new tutoring side hustle, teaching high schoolers online for $20 an hour. Her green apron was a badge, not a burden. She smiled at customers. Her "have a great day" genuine. Tara and Jake, her co-workers, were friends now, inviting her to karaoke at a dive bar. She went laughing for the first time in months. The notebook was her anchor, filled with reflections. "I fell because I flew too high, saw only myself." She'd landed a job at HopeWorks, a nonprofit, starting in April. The $40,000 salary was a fraction of her Pinnacle pay, but it was honest, organizing youth programs, mentoring teens. Her interview had been raw. "I've learned what not to do," she'd told Maria, the director. Maria saw her grit and hired her. Vanessa gave notice at Bruvy, her last shift a mix of relief and nostalgia. Ethan Walsh, 25, was Pinnacle's cornerstone. His associate director role came with a team of 40, and HopVibe's success made him a media darling. Chicago Business Journal profiled him, the analyst who outshone with a photo of his quiet smile. Gaines, retiring, mentored him, hinting. At VP, Ethan stayed humble, his Peoria roots a compass. He mentored Priya and Mia, took them to Portillo's, shared his state college stories. He moved to a Wicker Park condo, simple but his, paid by his own work. One morning, Ethan returned to Bruvy. Vanessa was behind the counter, her cap off, auburn hair loose. He paused, recognizing her. She met his gaze, steady. "What can I get you?" she asked. Her voice calm. "Latte," he said, studying her. "You're Vanessa Hart." She nodded. "No shame. And you're Ethan Walsh. Congrats on Pinnacle." She poured his drink, her hands sure. He noticed her ease, a far cry from the 35th floor's ice queen. "You're different," he said, not unkindly. She shrugged, sliding his cup over. "Had to be. You showed me the mirror." Ethan took the coffee, unsure what to say. "Good luck," he offered. She nodded, a small smile. He left, the moment lingering. Vanessa wasn't his enemy. She was human. At HopeWorks, Vanessa bloomed. She organized a teen scholarship event, raising $10,000. Maria called her indispensable. She reconnected with Claire, not for favors, but friendship. They met at a diner, no pretense. Claire, humbled by her own firm's drama, listened as Vanessa shared her journey. "I'm not that queen anymore," Vanessa said. Claire squeezed her hand. Vanessa's X account, reactivated, was quiet but real. She posted about HopeWorks scholarships, fundraisers, earning likes from Tara, Jake, Maria. She didn't chase Pinnacle's ghost. She built something new. Her pride now in small wins. A teen's smile. A budget-balanced. Ethan led Pinnacle's newest client, a tech startup, to a $20 million deal. Gina, the new CEO, valued his candor, promoting him to VP. He celebrated at a dive bar with Sam, Priya, and Mia, toasting to real work. He thought of Vanessa briefly, wondering where she'd landed. He didn't check her fall wasn't his story. One evening, Vanessa walked home from Hopeworks, the lake breeze cool. She passed Pinnacle's tower, its lights distant. She didn't ache, she'd been a queen, blind to others. Now, she saw her teens, her coworkers, herself. Her notebook closed with the final line: I fell, but I rose, not to rule, but to live. If you loved this tale of pride, betrayal, and redemption, please support our channel. Like, subscribe, and share to keep these stories alive. Your support means everything.